Hello and welcome to the high plains of Colorado. My name is Nathan, and today I'm flying in a local flight school's 1978 Cessna 182 Papa model. This flight was the day after Christmas, and I decided to take my sisters along for the ride. It had been over a year since we'd been flying together, so it was nice to have them along. Additionally, airplanes feel more stable when they're heavy as opposed to being light, so I certainly wasn't going to turn down any self-loading ballast. We're in what's called the downwind leg right now, which means we are flying parallel to the runway in the opposite direction of landing, about a mile away from the airport. This is the last good opportunity to complete our landing checklist. I'm using a switch checklist, which is designed to be a quick way to make sure that everything that must be completed before I touch the ground is done. There are many other secondary tasks I'm doing from memory, but the switch checklist is making sure that everything that could get me in trouble is done. That change in engine noise is me reducing the throttle and increasing propeller speed. Now the engine is producing less power and the propeller is producing more drag. I've also extended my first notch of flaps, which increases both lift and drag. This allows me to fly slower and descend without gaining excess energy. Here's what's called the base turn. We're about a mile away from the end of the runway, and we start our turn to get aligned with the runway. Our second and third notch of flaps are extended, and any remaining checklist items need to be completed. If they aren't completed by this point, you're too far behind the airplane, and you should probably go around and try again. As I turn final, which is in line with the runway, you can hear that whistling sound. There are two holes on the leading edge of the wing, which is how we can get fresh air in the cabin. As we fly slower and slower, the wing needs to fly at a steeper angle through the air to develop lift. At slow speeds, the air passes over those holes like a flute, and we get that signature Cessna whistle. I might have let myself get a little too slow in this turn, but I was able to let the nose down, add power, and fix it right away. Right now I'm checking that my descent rate is appropriate, my speed is where I want it, and I'm aligned with the center of the runway. Right here the runway is assured, power goes to idle, nose comes up, and I hold that attitude a few inches above the ground until the wing is done flying. This was a planned touch and go, so the flaps come to the first notch, I apply full power, and get right back in the air. My sisters look pretty unimpressed, or airsick, or both. I'll reset the checklist for my next landing, check to make sure that my sisters aren't turning too green, and proceed on with the rest of the flight. Thanks for watching. May God give you blue skies and tailwinds.